The Namibian general elections were held from November 25 to November 30, 2024, due to delays caused by logistical issues, including malfunctioning voter equipment and insufficient ballot papers. Voting extensions were implemented in some areas to allow more people to cast their votes. The elections concluded with Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah of the ruling SWAPO party becoming the country's first female president. She won with 58.07% of the votes, followed by Panduleni Itula of the Independent Patriots for Change, IPC, at 25.84%. The elections also determined the composition of the National Assembly. While the election was significant for its historic outcome, it was marked by logistical issues, such as malfunctioning equipment and delayed voting, leading to extended polling days. Opposition parties criticized the process, with some refusing to recognize the results and planning legal challenges. Despite this, the Electoral Commission of Namibia and observers did not find evidence of fraud. The Namibia's 2024 elections were highly eventful and significant in the nation's history. Here are some detailed overview. Presidential election results. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah of SWAPO emerged victorious with 58.07% of the votes, becoming Namibia's first female president. Major oppositions included Panduleni Itula, IPC, with 25.84%. McHenry Vanani, PDM, with 5.04%. Other candidates like Bernatus Swartboy, LPM, and Job Mupanda, affirmative repositioning, garnered smaller shares. Some major challenges faced during the election were technical issues. Voting faced disruptions due to malfunctioning voter identification devices and shortages of ballot papers. This led to long queues and voting extensions until November 30 in selected areas. Opposition criticism. Opposition parties, particularly the IPC, alleged irregularities, accusing the Electoral Commission of Namibia, ECN, of suppressing voters. Some opposition groups have refused to recognize the results and announced plans to challenge them legally. Observer reports by AU, the African Union Observer Mission noted some procedural shortcomings, giving the Electoral Commission of Namibia ECN a transparency score of 50%. However, no substantial evidence of fraud was found. Voter turnout. Registered voters, 1,449,569. Turnout, 76.86%, reflecting a strong engagement despite challenges. Broader implications. This election marks a critical juncture for Namibia, with Nandi-Ndaitwah's leadership being a historic milestone. However, the opposition's strong resistance underscores political polarization that may shape governance in the years ahead. Political and social implications of Namibia's 2024 election. The 2024 Namibian elections are a turning point in the country's political landscape, reflecting both progress and challenges. 1. Historic milestone for women in leadership. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah's victory is a landmark achievement as she becomes the first female president in Namibia's history. This is a significant step for gender equality in leadership across Africa. It also signals SWAPO's commitment to advancing female representation, as she has been a prominent party figure for decades. 2. SWAPO's continued dominance, but waning support. SWAPO, which has ruled Namibia since independence, maintained its majority but with a reduced margin compared to previous elections. The party's ability to retain power demonstrates its enduring influence, yet the rise of opposition parties like IPC and the PDM signals growing public dissatisfaction with the status quo. 3. Opposition resilience and emerging divides. The opposition's strong showing, particularly by Panduleni Itula of IPC, highlights a shift in voter dynamics. Allegations of irregularities and refusal to recognize the election results underscore political polarization, which could lead to legal battles and potential instability. This resistance reflects frustrations with governance issues, including unemployment and inequality. 4. Youth and urban voter discontent. Urban and youth voters have increasingly leaned toward opposition parties, frustrated with slow economic progress and perceived corruption in SWAPO. This demographic shift suggests a growing challenge for traditional parties like SWAPO to appeal to a younger, more urbanized electorate. 5. Electoral challenges and credibility. The logistical problems, extended voting days, and allegations of suppression have raised concerns about the efficiency and transparency of the Electoral Commission of Namibia. While no significant fraud was confirmed, the process exposed gaps in Namibia's electoral infrastructure. 6. Economic and governance implications. Nandi-Ndaitwah inherits a challenging economic landscape, including high unemployment and inequality. Her leadership will need to address these pressing issues while managing the political tensions stemming from opposition claims and growing public demand for accountability. 7. Regional and global impact. Namibia's election is watched closely by other African nations, serving as a case study for gender progress and electoral reforms. Nandi-Ndaitwah's presidency could inspire similar breakthroughs elsewhere, but it also places pressure on her administration to deliver results in governance and economic recovery. This election reflects Namibia's growing pains as it balances legacy leadership with demands for reform. It marks both progress and a critical need for inclusive governance to address underlying divisions. There were allegations and concerns about electoral irregularities during Namibia's 2024 general elections. Here are the key points. 1. Technical and logistical issues. Voting was disrupted by malfunctioning voter identification tablets and insufficient ballot papers in some regions. These issues led to long queues and the extension of voting hours, with additional days allocated in certain areas to accommodate voters. 2. Opposition allegations. The Independent Patriots for Change, IPC, accused the Electoral Commission of Namibia, ECN, of suppressing voters and creating deliberate barriers to voting. The IPC, along with other opposition parties like the Popular Democratic Movement, PDM, and Affirmative Repositioning, AR, criticized the ECN's decision to extend voting in select locations, claiming it lacked transparency and legality. 3. Observers' criticism. The African Union Observer Mission rated the ECN's transparency at 50%, citing confusion caused by last-minute decisions to extend voting. Some international and local monitors raised concerns about delays and inconsistencies but did not find substantial evidence of systemic fraud. 4. Legal challenges. Following the announcement of results, opposition leaders, including Panduleni Itula of IPC, declared they would not recognize the outcome and announced plans to pursue legal action. Despite these challenges, the Electoral Commission and independent investigations did not uncover clear evidence of fraud. However, the process highlighted weaknesses in Namibia's electoral infrastructure and governance. What do you think is the major cause of electoral hitches in Africa? Thanks for watching. Kindly leave us a comment in the comments section.